What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Hopefully, it looks like I'm coming in. Jen, am I good on Discord? Should be good on everything else, too. Yep. Excellent. Excellent. Well, thanks as always for joining me this Friday. We've had another interesting week. I say that every week, but in this live stream, I want to talk about Forex because now, after weeks, months even, of me talking about how Forex is going to start coming in vogue as let's call it an instrument or the asset class of volatility, what people are going to want to start trading. Now it's really starting to come to people's attention with these big moves. I mean, I started the live stream by looking at the Great Britain pound. And I mean, it looks like a meme stock almost. This is a country's currency that has moved in since just this month. In 1 month, since September the 1st, well, now it's up 4%, but at one point it was up 12%. I mean, that's a big difference if you think about it. Like if you were to travel with US dollars to Great Britain, you'd be able to buy 12% more stuff. Really good for Americans, really bad for the rest of the world. So, yeah, that is the current. And I want to go into that because I think it helps to understand why this happened. Let me get my chat set up because I spent a little bit of time trying to educate myself as well. And there is a lesson here that I'm going to leave you all with that's going to be a tradable piece of knowledge. The short version of it is don't fight the central banks. Do not fight the central banks because they win. So let's pop out our chat over here. All right. Welcome to the stream, everyone. If you have symbols to look at, call them out. Rocket emoji. Bear emoji. Oh, yeah, they got the inverted rocket emoji. That's more appropriate. Do it on this thing. Didn't do it on here. Hey, what's up, Stone Pilot? Good to see you. Good to see you. Also, today, I'm going to, of course, do the normal market recap because, man, the indexes, some are floating, and some are inverted. Where's my rocket emojis? Okay. Let's put the rocket emoji down here on YouTube. TLT, yeah, we'll look at TLT. That's going to be a big deal. So, yeah, we'll do the market research. I want to talk about Forex because I really think that, I've been, again, put my money where my mouth is. I've started to move some funds into a Forex account, especially to start on the dollar, the US dollar yen trade that I talked about last week, which is still working. It's still working. It's not gone down yet, but now we're starting to see people talk about these instruments. And I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now that people need to start watching the Forex market because there's going to be some major moves now because the banks are starting to fight each other almost because the dollar has gone on a massive tear. So we're going to talk about that. Do the standard market research. And then I want to maybe look at a trade today on futures because I today resolved myself to get a lot more active trading futures going forward. I'm very picky about trading futures. Typically, I've been very, very picky about trading futures over the last few weeks and months. This year, I've been trying to take very, very good trades. The NASDAQ gave really only two good opportunities on like the 1 hour time frame that I've talked about before, where it got the top here in August and picked up a little bottom here in September. And those are the two big trades. I made a post about the top in August So I'm pretty proud that I was able to call that at the time. But I'm going to start getting a lot more granular on a day-to-day basis. I want to get my chat on the Discord a lot more active. So that's the reason for that. Let's see. Hello, welcome to the people that are streaming in. Yeah, if you got anything to look at, just take a look. Irma, I'd like to start Forex, but I don't know where to start and how much money I need. I need to learn. Please help me. Good question. So most, let's see. Okay, so where I've always traded Forex has been through Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim has been the standard trading platform for many, many, many years. It was bought by TD Ameritrade. It was bought by Schwab. So technically, you would go through Schwab, and you can really start a Forex account. I don't know what their requirements are, but you want to try to get a reputable Forex broker, just like anything else in finance. But I would definitely, if you can, do it through. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, if you use TradingView and you go down to the trading panel button right here, you can tie into any of these accounts. And the ones that I'm more familiar with would be the Forex.com. Oanda has been around for a very long time, and you can connect your account and trade Forex right off of the TradingView chart. And so any of these are ones that they support. Now, right here, you see Bitstamp and Gemini. These are going to be cryptocurrency. But Forex.com, you can set up an account there. Maybe we'll click on Learn More. This may not take us. Okay, so yeah, you can go through. I would just go. Actually, that's a good recommendation. I would actually go through the platforms that are offered through TradingView, and yeah, don't troll me on like Coinbase. Exactly. Go through these right here and pick a broker. Not really shilling for Forex.com in particular, but I have used them, and they're not too bad. They're not too bad. Looks like I might be getting another data issue. Okay, looks like I'm back on YouTube. Okay, I'm just keeping an eye on it this week, making sure that I'm not losing the stream over there. Okay. I think. Is TradingView not showing anything on my YouTube, Jen? Huh. You keep getting buffered. Yeah. Are you on Discord, or are you on the TradingView version? Yeah, both to compare. Yeah, for 2 weeks now, TradingView has been a little disappointing for the streaming quality. I think I need to probably break down and actually start streaming it off of a thing like OBS or something like that. I know I said that last week, but I was just hoping that it was an isolated event. Let's see. 44. Let's see, stream settings. Oh, I'm looking at that doesn't change anything. TradingView. I've got green bars here. Maybe it was a transient condition. Hopefully. Okay. Looks good. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, so there's a lot of Forex brokers out there. And I would say that the ones you can find on TradingView are probably going to be the best because you can integrate them seamlessly into the platform. So either Oanda or Forex.com are just the two off the top of my head I've known for many, many, many years. And so those would be the ones that I'm not really recommending, but you can look into those. The minimum requirement, honestly, you might be able to do it with $1,000 or less because risk disclosure, Forex carries a lot of risk because it carries a lot of leverage. You can take that $1,000 and you can buy 100,000 of a currency. And so if the currency moves 1%, you can wipe out your account in that 1%. So be very, very careful. But you actually don't, it's such a liquid market that you don't usually have to have a big account to open up a Forex thing. But the reason I say that people need to start looking at this is because you're going to start reading a lot more in the news about these currency movements in the foreign exchange, because all of these let's see, keyframes. All of these actions by the central banks are creating these huge moves in currencies. Let's just take a quick look right here. So the big one that I've been talking about last week was the dollar yen. Look on the daily here, and where the Bank of Japan announced that they were going to intervene to stop their inflation. In other words, stop the loss of value versus the dollar. That's what this volatile spike was right here, and I'm keying off this as being the current high. Now, if they lose it and they actually go above there, well, then I'm wrong. And apparently, the Bank of Japan is losing their fight to keep their currency um, from devaluing against the dollar. New Zealand dollar, same thing, just going New Zealand dollar going down. The dollar is just winning against all these other currencies except for the Swiss franc. But then again, the Swiss franc has always been an inflation hedge. It's very interesting why they did that. I watched something not too long ago. The Swiss, they've always been neutral. They've always been known for having a lot of gold in their mountain hideaways, but they also have a lot of stocks, gold, and other assets on their balance sheet. Like they actually own a lot of Amazon, the Swiss National Bank. And so that is they've because they are such clever financiers, they found a way to, rather than backstop their currency with physical assets just like gold, they are backstopping it with other assets, including stocks. I'm really glossing over. I'm sure there's a lot more detail than that, but it is interesting what they've done to kind of stem the tide. Dollar CAD, same thing against the Canadian dollar. And of course, as people have talked about with the euro dollar, it's now below one. It used to be 1 to 1. Was a 20-year low, more than 20 years. Let's go out to a week monthly right here. We don't even have much data on the euro dollar. But yeah, it's been constantly going down. And it's because the euro, Japan, and Great Britain, they've kept their interest rates low, whereas the United States has been raising their interest rates. But recently, and this is what I wanted to talk about, this week, a big thing happened. Now, if you want to like get a YouTube video of that, I recommend this gentleman here, Patrick Boyle. He's a great British spokesperson for all things finance because he's got a little bit of dry wit in there, but he is a little bit slow. People complain that he's a little boring, but a little trick right here. Go to playback speed and do him at about 2x, and he'll sound like he's speaking normally. That's a little trick somebody told me about Patrick Boyle. But he gave a very good rundown on it. But let's also take a look at something here. I want to read a little bit from this article right here. And oh, you're Swiss, Irma. Well, that's good. I need to join you. Well, I have a Discord. Doesn't cost anything to join it. It's just to hang out. So click down below. You can join the Discord. That's where I talk on a daily basis and read and answer questions. That way, if anyone else has the same questions, they can see the answer as well. So that's my little plug for that. So the Bank of England moved Wednesday to quell a financial market revolt, announcing that it would temporarily buy an unlimited quantity of government bonds to prevent disorderly trading from destabilizing the British economy. Or the TLDR on that was this tweet right here. The entire UK pension system was about to get margin called. And that's really what has kind of a glossing over happened. They have trillions of dollars in pension liabilities. I don't know if it's more or less than the United States, but there's a lot of pensioners. You know, England is a lot more socialist in that way. And they have all these obligations to people. They're put in these baskets of where about half of the assets for these pensions are bonds. And if these go bad, well, that means millions of people that are retiring or have retired are going to be in a lot of trouble. And so they did that. The Bank of Japan stepped in because, okay, here's the chain of events. Investors resoundingly rejected Prime Minister Liz Truss's plan, I think she just came into power, to use borrowed money, basically taking out more debt, to pay for tax cuts and also give their consumers relief from energy bills. So it's going to cost a lot of money to swayed this pressure on British citizens, and so they were going. England is confusing over there on that island. Uh, so they're going to use more government debt to shore up the energy market and give some tax cuts to get the economy going. Well, that is going to directly affect the credit rating of government bonds. And so if the interest rate on new government bonds goes up, that means the value of existing government bonds goes down. And so, in order to shore that up, what the Bank of Japan did was, excuse me, not bank, excuse me, the Bank of England did was stepped in and they started adding these bonds to their balance sheet, just like the United States did years ago, calling it quantitative easing. So essentially, even though they haven't changed their interest rate, because that would create even more bond and interest rate carnage, they have started buying up bonds. They have started quantitative easing, essentially. So rather than change the interest rate, this is what they have chosen to do. And so post that link to the Discord. I want to bully some UK friends. Never mind, find out. Okay, yeah, I posted in the I'll post in the just chatting the where's the Patrick Boyle one? Oh, I lost it. Did I close it? I must have closed it. Yeah. So I'll post it in the just chatting on the Discord. So this Washington Post article gave a very good little rundown of it. But if you want to listen to it in YouTube format, look at Patrick Boyle, Boyle, on YouTube. He gave a very good deep dive into it. But that's what's happening. And so now that it's a weird catch-22 that these banks are in right now, because if they raise their interest rates, then they are going to have some serious problem repaying all the debt that they already have. But their currency is devaluing against the dollar so much that it's making it hard for them to pay back USD denominated bonds. So, the doom and gloom people have a reason to start, talking about the world ending, because we don't really know what the consequences of these are going to be. But what I do know the consequence is going to be is more volatility in the Forex market. And so that's why I implore people to, start looking at these. There's even, I know that Tastyworks, they offer currency futures, which I think you can find on some platforms, currency futures, as well as options on futures. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can perhaps express a sentiment, express a trade. Like I said, from last week looked at the dollar yen, and I'm looking at this to be a top. And that's the position that I'm in right now. I'm trying to play the top of the dollar yen. The lesson that I want to really convey to people that I learned a decade ago about Forex is don't fight the banks. When the banks want to move their currency, they move their currency. Oh yeah, of course. Tastyworks is really, really good. They're made by traders, and so they seem to be very cognizant of the idea that it's your money. If you want to risk it on unique products, you should have every right to do it. If I go through, Schwab or something like that, I have to sign. I've been setting up a Forex account through Schwab today, and I have to go and print out 3 forms. And hey, can you just do straight up spot Forex on Tastyworks? Can you do it through a platform there? Because I've had to print out some forms that I have to sign and scan and mail back to them. And in the process of doing that, I ran out of ink on my printer, and of course, I didn't have time to go to the store or buy new ink. And so I'm gonna have to wait till Monday to get it set up or even get the process started for approval. So different Forex brokerages are a little more restrictive than others. So we shall see. All right. So short version of that, be watching the Forex markets. If I see opportunity, I'm going to post about it. There's one problem I have with TradingView. I have my alerts set up for, spike alerts in TradingView, but there's something about, and maybe it's because I'm using, maybe it's the broker that I use, but sometimes I don't actually get the alerts on my indicators in Forex. So that's on me to go through my system and do a little bit of checking to see if I can make that better and get myself alerted to Forex. But one thing that I used to do years ago is do top-down research. Every Sunday you go through the major currency pairs, and like we're looking at the euro yen right now, and this is on the daily. One thing I possibly could have seen on the daily, was hindsight, is looking for from this year, starting in the bottom of March of 2022 up until this high. It pegged right there on August 2nd, a nice 50% level. These are things where if you're watching this, if you're doing your analysis like you would a stock or any other instrument, you would be able to catch these as they're happening. It takes work, it takes diligence, and there's no excuse if you miss it. You just haven't done your homework. And so that is on me to start doing my homework, to watch for these kind of things. See, there was even a little spike down here, a little below, because it's 69%. That would not have actually triggered in my system. One prior to that, when was this one? Uh-oh, I lost my, oh, there it is. See, what percent was that? So 71 may have. I really like to see 80%. So either way, that's a level that it got to back in August, and you really just got to be there, and you got to set these alerts and watch them. But now that you can start doing the research on this. Let's see. Suitable clients may get approved for futures trading within minutes. But what about spot Forex? Maybe our marketing overlords from the UK are looking to push us further. No spot Forex. Okay, that answers my question. All right. Let's take a look at some of the things. I think someone wanted to look at SPY and TLT. Yeah, let's do the market breakdown here. So we'll segue from talking about Forex and let's look at DXY, because now I start to see on a daily basis people quoting the price of the DXY and starting to have opinions about it. People seem to have been very ignorant of the DXY on this move up, whereas I've been talking about it, pretty much all year. One of my favorite things to throw in, I hate to say throw in their face, but people that had this meme that inflation was going to be the big problem with investments, not inflation with consumer goods, but inflation being, you had to, get out of dollars because dollars or cash was trash. I think even Ray Dalio said that at the beginning of this year, towards the end of 2021. Well, these represent the performance of Bitcoin, S&P 500, gold, and the U.S. dollar relative to other currencies, which people are all, yes, I know it's relative to other currencies. You don't have to point that out to me. It's the dollar index, okay? But the point is, you didn't necessarily need to get rid of your cash just because the financial media told you that you needed to. Because actually cash has been pretty good, because right now your US dollars buy more S&P, buy more gold, and buy more Bitcoin than they did at the beginning of 2022. So while you're paying more to get food, I sure know I am, when it comes to investments, you're getting more investment assets for less US dollars right now. It's as simple as that. So a lot of people are calling now for the DXY to get up to 120. I love this. I love it that people are now starting to take note of it, just like any instrument that is mooning. Now they start to call for like higher highs, when my contrarian senses take a look at something like this and I'm like, okay, this is no longer a buy. So yeah, okay, maybe we can get up to this level. I mean, I think if people are looking at this from here to here as a potential level, that's because they're trying to find a good risk to reward. Your 1-to-1 basically puts you, back to 103. But if the dollar rise, and it will, look, come on. If you guys have been trading for the last 2 years, you know what goes up must come down. Hopefully you know that by now. And so at this point in a chart, you don't know when it's going to stop, but you know that it is. It's not going to go up forever. How many people thought the Bitcoin was going to go up to whatever the Twitter space was telling them, 800,000, a million? Well, it didn't. Just like the dollar won't. And actually, it's a little concerning. It is a little concerning, given that I'm an American and I use dollars, that at some point the dollar is going to, I don't want to say crash. Let's just say mean revert. The dollar is going to mean revert at some point. XBI. What's the difference between XBI and DXY? Am I using the wrong instrument? That is. Oh, that's biotech. Okay, we'll look at that in just a second. I thought the. Yeah. Okay. So I think biotech probably moved because of Biogen. So I think when people are looking at 120, they're trying to, give themselves a stop. All right, I'm connected on TV now. Okay. I'm trying to think how I can make this thing better, not have this problem. It was so good there for a few weeks. Okay. All right. Looks like I'm back up on YouTube too. Okay. So continue on. Yeah. This is not good. This is not good for the market, because I'm always looking for that bar to close for confirmation, and we have it today. Last week and all this week, we kind of bandied around. We kind of flirted with that summer low, that June low, and now here as we get into the fall, down it goes. We're about to start the fourth quarter next week, and fourth quarter is not starting off bullish. NASDAQ, same. It's there. It's there. It closed below it. I think the Dow was the first. It actually did it last week, and this was kind of a harbinger for what was going to happen this week, where this week we. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's check my connection over here. Looks good there. Looks okay. Looks okay. Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's try to finish this out with this as it is. I wonder if it's the time of day too. We shall see. All right. So, am I back on break out of this consolidation? And it's really forming a tight range right here. Which way it's going to go, I don't know. I think that, though, if we get a market recovery, like a risk market recovery, a stock market recovery, it would break to the upside. You would think, though, that with the recent history correlation, that if it broke to the downside, we would actually start to see this start to retest the lows. But right now, it's just caught. So I'd be neutral right now, and I'd wait for this recent range and possibly the broader range to break before making any kind of assessment. I mean, let's face it. If you wanted to buy Bitcoin at these prices, you've probably already bought it. I don't really agree with adding more risk on at this point unless you start to see some benefit from it. One of the things that I use for analysis is Ichimoku, and so if you really are confident in it, just be a little patient. Let Bitcoin get above 22,000 again. That way you get momentum and everything on the bullish side. That could be a potentially bullish breakout. That's good. You got your confirmation. Your dollar cost averaging in, as I know a lot of people like to do, that's fine. I, for one, I really support dollar cost averaging into Monero. But this too is starting to set up on the downside. Ethereum is trending already on the downside. So at some point, I might give it up. All right, let's look at TLT. Bond market. Well, as interest rates keep going, here's the simple thing. As interest rates keep going up, that means that newly issued bonds are going to offer a higher yield. A bond with a higher yield is going to be more valuable because it pays more than an older bond with lesser yield. And so that's the fundamental component for why the value of bonds are going down. TLT has gotten a lot of people in trouble this year because a lot of people operated on the the bond stock equal weighting or weighted different weighting portfolio, and both of them have gone down. And Chris Cole, hedge fund manager out of Austin, Texas, can't remember what his name is. He's written some very good pieces over the last decade about how this idea that bonds and stocks would always be an inverse correlation was unfortunately pretty erroneous. It happened to be the case in the last 30, 40 years, but historically, going back 180 years of research, he found that it only occurs maybe 20, 30% of the time. Let me look that up real quick. So Chris Cole White Papers. So I like the title of his white papers he's done: Vol Persistence and the Unholy Trinity of Risk, the allegory of the hawk and the serpent. I like allegories a lot. I especially like the allegory of the scorpion and the frog. And yeah, he's got some very good contrarian views. And one person that I think has gotten really hurt that people tend to have listened to is Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio has been famous for advocating the risk parity strategy, which his Renaissance Capital is based upon. And well, doubling your exposure to bonds has not been good, especially when your stocks are going down as well. So I don't really have a affirmative answer for what to do in the bond space in TLT. I know that a lot of people are going to be retiring and they kind of want to start moving into bonds because they need fixed income. That's really going to be, I think, the theme going forward. And it has been. People have been talking about this for years because people are going to be retiring. Because yeah, this seems about right back in March, and I cut it as it started to go down sometime in like late March, early April. And I remember having a debate on someone with that, and they said, like, "Well, don't you want a dollar cost into TLT?" I was like, "No, not really." Because once something starts going, man, it's a problem. I mean, it's the thing that has been hurting people with Nvidia. Where is the bottom? I don't know. I wish I could tell people that. Um, the same thing happened with Comcast. I had to get this out of my trading account at a really bad level. I mean, it basically Comcast is breaking. A lot of stocks now are breaking this COVID low. I don't know where the bottom is. I mean, that brings up a good point, a good thing for me to talk about though. Like this COVID low has, I've said for a long time that the COVID low to the fall of 2021 high, this whole COVID trend is going to define the price action for this year. And so now that we have stocks breaking these lows, what's another one that's breaking this low? I know a lot of tech stuff has broke the COVID low. I think that the Dow has broken the prior COVID 2020 high, so that's kind of significant there. Let's see, yeah, and the Nasdaq here, it's by flirting with this level as well. It's breaking the COVID trend, the 50% at least. The reason I'm sighing is because I'm very hesitant to start flipping short into this. My gut wants to wait at least one more week for confirmation to see what the quarter is going to do. That's what I'm kind of sighing about right now. A bit more clarity on this because I can flip short if I want to, but that doesn't mean that some stuff is not winning. So crypto down, USD up. I don't like that correlation, Jen. A lot of people bring that up to me because I think a lot of people have looked at like trying to correlate crypto, like Bitcoin, with the euro, when really it's just the dollar. You're looking at the dollar. I mean, there's nothing really more there than just it's BTC USD and Euro USD. I mean, the dollar is ruling everything. So All right. Let's take a look here. So, I mean, the end result for TLT and all the other things is if you have a strategy that has you dollar cost averaging into things, that should be the only reason that you're buying this because it's on the way down. Do I think that you need to liquidate everything and sell out? No, uh, unless you need the money now. If you need the money now, then of course, and that's a bad situation to be in. But it's rough. I mean, you really have to take it as a lesson to cut your losses when they're small. That's the only thing I can say is just take this as a learning experience. And it sucks now, it hurts now, but you either take the small loss now or you take the big loss later. Unfortunately. So let's look CCL. I noticed that today they had some really bad earnings. They're all right. Well, I think that's what it is. So all right. Frustrating. Yeah, I think I may actually do that. Maybe do 3 o'clock on Fridays. Getting better. Yeah, I know. But I think I might try next week at 3 o'clock instead. That may be more inconvenient for other people, but this is the second week in a row where my flow's been messed up. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to cut it. Thanks everybody for joining and being patient.